Okay, so we working on database practicals, and this is the second session. So last time we have looked at how to create a table. We have created a table called purchase with supply ID, item ID, purchase date, quantity, and so on. And there are two views. We have a simple data sheet view and we have a design view. So if I go to design view, so this is the place that you have to talk, talk about. So there are 4 fields, and then we have to identify the correct data type, right? And then we have to define what the primary key is. So we have to combine supply ID, item ID, and purchase date to get the primary key. So this is what we have done. Right. Let's start today's session by looking at another table. So this time I'm going to look at another table from the database handout I have given to you. Right under this exam questions, we have this. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I have. And then, yeah, we were looking at the purchase table. So this is what we have done. Right. Okay, maybe we can go to this table and we can try, creating these 3 tables. So let's start. So how do you start? We can start saying file, new, blank database. So I'm going to create this as a university because it says in the university. So I'm going to create a database. The name, I'm going to use it as a university. Yes, and I will put create, which now I'm ready. Right. So I have created a university database. Now, we normally comes with a datasheet view here. So go to views, select design view. And it asks for the table name. So I'm going to put supervisor. Okay, that's my first one. So I want to have supervisor ID. So type supervisor ID. And that's define appropriate data type. Then first name. Then we have last name. Then we have department name. Right, that's all. So with that one, actually, we have created, and we know the primary key is supervisor ID. That also we don't need to change, but instead of auto number, we'll have a short text. Right, now we can change the view. It's the datasheet view. So go to datasheet view and enter the data. Yes, I will say save. Okay, so we have a supervisor ID. So that is, we have to have S note 1, first name Anil, we have Priyanta. And then here it says computer science. We put the department. So likewise, yes, if you have finished this table, please raise your hands. Or if you have done this as a homework, you can do the same. So we created two tables now, project table and then supervisor table. In supervisor table, we will have short date and date time for the start date. Okay, let's create the third one as well. We'll create the third one. We have to go to create table, and then we'll go to design view. Table name is supervisor and project. Right. And then first one, supervisor ID. Yes, it's text. We can select short text. Then project ID. It's a short text. Then allowance. So it should be, you can select, the best would be the currency here. Okay, so we have put currency and we know primary key is the combination of these two. So we have to select, using control, we select these two and then click primary key. Right now we are ready to store data. Yes. Now we can type S01 P003. Okay, so it's 20,000. Right. So the default currency symbol is dollar. For the time being, we can ignore. Right. Okay, let's fill the table. S02 P002 10,000. Then S02 again, P001, it's 15,000. Then S04, P001, right? It's 10,000. S03, P 004. We have 12,000. Now we put the data, right?
So how to change this mark into rupees?
Yeah, in that case, you have to go to design view. And I am assuming that in date format, we have to have some symbol. Let me check. Ivanka said it's available in table design tab view. Table design. Yes. We have table design tab. We are there. And then I'm looking where we could change. Okay. but this is dollar. So the question is like, how do you put? Now, no, what I want to put is dollar. Instead of dollar, I want to have the currency format. Now, one thing I know, we can go back and then try to change in the regional settings. Yeah, you can remove the dollar by putting a comma, but that's not I want. Let's say if you need some symbol, yes, if you put a comma, yes, we are getting the formatting. Is that what we need? But let's say if you want to use rupees, then I guess we have to convert somewhere. Let me go to format again. This should be in design view anyway. And format usually should be some currency format. Yes, we said. And then decimal places is there. We can have it as a number. Yeah, the error you are getting, Malindu, is because you have not set primary key properly. You have to select both supervisor ID and project ID, and then you have to click primary key. So that's the error you are having. Right, okay. Yes, currency format for the time being. Yes, if we go here, right, table fields, if you put comma, it will remove the dollar sign. Yeah, we'll fix into that. But if you want to have rupees, for example, when I checked, it says we have to set the default format. Right. Now, having said that we have ready, we can go to database tools. We are going to create now relationships. Then click on relations. Okay. Because we are now going to combine the three. We know that, right? We want to create now let's look at the relationships. We should get something like this. We can get the tables. We can take a project. We will have like this. Then supervisor. We will have like this, project supervisor. So now we know we need to connect these two. So usually we'll start from here. We know that supervisor ID should connect it to this one, right? Supervisor ID should connect to this supervisor ID. And the connection is, we have to select what kind of a relationship we are having, right? And we can create the relationship. And similarly, project ID also, you can put it project ID, and you can change the join type, right? Yes, now I have done connected the two. So the foreign key, I have put it here. And then if you want to change it, you can double click always. You can click enforce referential integrity if you want. You can click OK. But if you get an error message, it's because the tables are open. We can close them, right? Hopefully now we should be able to, right, enforce. Yeah. And here also we will say, yes, we can say enforce. Okay. So now we have properly set up our relationships. Now, once we set up our relationships, now we are ready to, right, select data. Now, when you go back the course, let's say yes. Now go to project. Now we are connected actually with the tables. If you go there, now these are connected. Supervisor ID, the details are connected to each other. You see the details. Some changes I have to make. And if you take supervisor, yeah, so the details are connected to each other now. Now, since we have connected, now we can look the data, right? We can create a view, especially when you want to display the data. Right, if you have finished up to this point, can you please raise your hands? Relations. Now we are going to view the data. So we can have a display format. Now we have connected, right? We have create. We'll have query wizard, right? Let's select that one. Yeah, we will go to query wizard. Okay. මොනවද එන්න ඕනි කියලා අපි අහන්නේ. will right. Now, first of all, I want to change. We have, yes, let's see. Okay, I want to create. We'll have query design. Okay, so this is where I was looking at. Right now, let's say I want to create a query. Query means I'm going to get the data back in the format I want. So you have to list the fields. The right now, you can decide which field you want to have. Now, in this case, let's say we are going to have the details. What kind of details we will have? Right, let's see what are the data we have. Supervisor ID, first name, last name, department name. Let's say I want to know what projects they work, right? And then and the allowance that they are getting, right? So I will start with the first name. So I'm going to select, yeah, first of all, I will, let me check. Okay. Yes, we will have all these tables, right? Now, for the query, we are going to have everything. Now we are going to have the first name, right? I'm going to have the first name from the supervisor. Then I'm going to have his last name. Okay. Then I'm going to have department name, right? And then I'm going to have his any project. Let's say a project start date, project ID, and then project start date, right? And then I will have, the allowance, everything here. Looks good. And then I can say run. Wow. So you see, we are getting this query. So here are the data that Anil Priyanta, computer science, works on P003. Is it? Yes. And start date is given and the allowance is this. Mohammed Nasser works for 2 projects and he's getting 10,000 and 15,000. Anura works for project 1, getting 10,000. Raj, 50,000. Right. Okay. We have few more to go, but I guess you got the point. We create the table relationships and then we wrote a query. So query, I'm going to start from the beginning again. So I'm going to close this. I'm not going to save. Right. Once you finish this one, what you need to go to create. Yes. And then we said query design. Once you say query design, you have to select what tables that you want to have it. So I'm going to use all the 3 tables. And then once I did this, I select the fields. I'm going to have the supervisor first name, supervisor last name. that is from this table. And then let's say department one as well. So let me put department as well. So I have taken these 3 columns. Then projects, I'll take the project ID and then project start date. And once I did it, I need the allowance, right? I want to know like how much he will get from each project. And then you click run, which you should get this one. Okay. With that one, we can conclude the session today.